It's podcast week here at the No Guilt Mom podcast. Whoop, whoop.
Yep, and we are going big, my friends. We are talking epic giveaways.
Curated playlists to binge your fave parenting topics and, of course, laugh about all of them.
Of course. Plus, we're going to have games that you are not going to want to miss.
Whether you're folding laundry or you're hiding in the pantry for 5 minutes apiece,
this is your week to laugh, learn, and win with us.
Join us for No Guilt Mom podcast week because parenting's hard, but listening doesn't have to be.
Subscribe now and celebrate with us all week long. Visit noguiltmom.com/podcast week to get all the info and to sign up to win. As moms, we are stuck trying to hold everything together during the summer. And a lot of us, we try not to ask our partner for help. If you're the default parent for the summer, chances are good that means you're the one who's in ground zero with the kids.
Welcome to the No Guilt Mom podcast. I am your host, Joanne Crone, joined here by the brilliant Bree Tucker.
Why, hello, buddy. How are you?
Today, we're talking about resentment in the summertime.
And it comes large and in charge for the summer, people. I mean, I don't know about anybody else, but even with a 18 and 16-year-old and an incredibly supportive husband, I was super resentful at the beginning of the summer because nobody was thinking about all the summer crap that has to be done. Everybody was like, oh, life is just the same. No, it's not.
It's not. How is it not? You and I have very different viewpoints on what needs to be done.
When school was wrapping up and we were getting into summer vacation, my husband just kind of kept going on like, okay, well, this is summer. I'm still doing my work schedule. I'm still doing meal planning. I'm like, okay, meal planning now has to include breakfast and lunch for two teenagers that eat freaking trash trucks. They just devour everything and they're so picky. I was like, plus now we also have to figure out who's home, who isn't. When I'm working, then it's going to be like interrupting my recording sessions and whether or not I need a car to go somewhere. Just a lot of things get changed in the summer, and I feel like we are left to figure it out on our own, and that makes me resentful.
I could see that. Yes, I do have those situations where like, yeah, I can hear that. But I can see that too in my own life because I mean, my daughter's away right now in a summer school program, but my son is home. And so there is that additional juggling. I mean, it's not as much juggling as say when he was 7 or 8 because he's almost 12 now. I look back to those 7 and 8-year-old days and I'm like, thank the Lord that we're no longer in that situation.
Right?
Because those were so hard. It was so hard to juggle everything I had to do with all of his needs. And I wanted to connect with him and I wanted to make sure like we had our time. He needs a lot less of my attention now than he used to, which is great. But there's still some. There's still the, hey, mom. And it'll come in the couch. Hey, mom, want to go to In-N-Out? Or, hey, mom. Hey, mom, you want to go get a sweet treat?
Oh, that's my daughter 100%. So, yeah. So I guess like the reason I was thinking or we were thinking behind this episode was the summer brings to light things that we can become resentful for. And we want to let you know it's not necessarily that you got a crappy spouse and you're not alone. They just don't know what they don't know. And we're going to fix that in this episode. We're going to fix it.
They don't know what they don't know. And also I have some behind the scenes like man stuff to share because shout out to Zach Watson and Tira Wages. We're like meeting bi-weekly now, but Tira and I were like, Zach, what do all the men complain about the women doing? Because
that helps. It does.
That helps. It helps a lot. So I'm going to share that in this episode as well, what Zach told us. And all respect to the men out there too, because I think hearing each side is really, really valid. So with that, let's get on with the show.
You want mom life to be easier. That's our goal too. Our mission is to raise more self-sufficient and independent kids, and we're going to have fun doing it. We're going to help you delegate and step back. Each episode will tackle strategies for positive discipline, making our kids more responsible and making our lives better in the process. Welcome to the No Guilt Mom podcast.
The first thing we need to look at when we look at this summer spouse resentment, summer husband resentment, summer partner resentment, summer ex-husband resentment,
Summer
summer
dog
baby
resentment.
daddy resentment, summer dog resentment.
Summer
We need
everything
to-
resentment. Can you
Yes.
tell the heat's getting to me? These 110 days are becoming a bit much.
Yeah, well, it's supposed to be sold as this relaxing time of year, and it's really not. That's crap. I'm sorry.
No, it
It's
isn't
not.
because, right, for moms, we have this extreme, and okay, maybe I'm being a bit much. I'll take back my words. Not necessarily extreme. Some cases it is. But we have this uneven division of labor that happens during the summer. And
Mhm.
it's because I feel like it happens in households across the demographics, no matter what your demographic is. There are people that are having this uneven distribution of labor and home responsibilities. But it's even more for moms that were like you and I that had flexible enough schedules where we were home with our kids during the summer. Now, just because you're home doesn't mean you're not working or doing a bazillion other things. It just means that you were the primary caregiver for the kids during summer break. It gets to be a lot.
Yeah, your schedule was designed to be flexible. So now you have to be totally flexible. I mean,
Yeah.
one of these uneven division of parenting and home responsibilities is all the doctor's appointments we try to take care of during the summer.
Oh, God, yes.
Just this week, I mean, I took my son for his physical last week, which I was like, woo, woo, we're not waiting until like 2 weeks into the school year. We have to race to urgent care and get
I
like
always
physical
do
for
that.
sports.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It wasn't until my son's senior year of high school that I finally got his band physical done before school started. And it's not like I didn't know when school started, people. I
Yeah.
just kept putting it off.
Yeah, but I was patting myself on the back for that one. But to make that one
Yeah.
happen, when I called in 4 weeks before the school year, they're like, well, she has an appointment available this week or not for another 4 weeks. I'm like, damn it all. Like, I have to do it. Like, I have to rearrange my whole schedule to even get it in on time. It's so funny because you're like, oh, all you have to do is schedule a doctor's appointment. Well, once you say schedule a doctor's appointment, you are at the whim of the doctor's office right there. And it is no longer in your control, that time schedule. So, yeah.
On a very similar level, talk about the doctor's appointments. I'm sorry, guys. Please, by all means, people on podcast land, put a hand up and be like, amen, if you agree with this, you've had this happen. So my dentist office is famous for texting when they have
Okay.
last minute openings. And within like 2 weeks of your appointment to ask if you want to come at a different time or day because they have openings. So they texted me yesterday morning and said, we have 2 openings for your kids. We can get them scheduled next Monday at 9, 10, or 11. And
Mhm.
when you've got 2 kids, getting 2 appointments at the same time is amazing.
Yeah.
So, of course, neither of my kids were home. My son was with his dad this week and my daughter was at work. So I'm texting them and I'm like, okay, guys, I don't know your work schedule for next week. What can you do on Monday? They said they have openings. They can do 9, 10, or 11. My daughter comes back and texts me like within a minute or two and says, I want 11. My son doesn't text me for hours.
Mhm.
So eventually, after about like an hour, I text back the doctor's office and I'm like, we'd like to take 11 o'clock, knowing that I could just move it if my son texts back. They're like, yeah, sorry, we don't have those anymore.
Oh, gosh.
And you're like, son of a, but
I
cheesy.
know. It's so crazy. And to like put another cherry on top, the condescendingness at the doctor's office and the dental office when they call you mom. Okay, mom. Well, so and so has cavities. I'm like, I have a name. It is Joanne. Please stop calling me mom. Because, like, also, I had a dentist appointment right after my son's dentist appointment because we see a family dentist.
Yeah.
And the hygienist is like, okay, mama, now it's your turn. I'm like, I'm the actual patient here. I am not your mom. I get so mad about that. And I know other people get mad about it as well because I posted it on Instagram about my furious
About being called
curiosity
mom.
about being called mom by people who I'm not their mom. Even when my husband was calling, okay, mama, I had to pull him aside and I'd be like, I don't like being called mama by you. I am not your mama. I'm Joe. Or you can call me sexy badass Joe, but and not mama. No.
Man, I don't have that, but I can see it. I can see it for sure.
Yeah, I can't take it. I can't take it. I am my own
Mhm.
identity. I am not just a mom. Thank you.
So our point is, as moms, we are stuck trying to hold everything together during the summer.
Mhm.
And a lot of us, we try not to ask our partner for help because if you're the default parent for the summer, chances are good that means you're the one who's in ground zero with the kids and your partner is probably off site doing something, work,
Mhm.
whatever. The other thing that drives me nuts is when you ask for help from your partner and you get the sigh before
Mhm.
the answer,
Mm.
or you get the eye roll, or
Oh.
they pause
Oh,
and
they
they
get
go, I
smacked
guess.
by me. I'm abusive. I'm sorry.
Well, but I mean, I'm just thinking about I'm really busy tomorrow. I mean,
No, I
you're
get
home all
that.
day.
Yeah,
Why can't you
I see
just
that.
do this? Like, it's
I
not
see that.
fair. You're not asking too much, people. We are here to tell you. Joanne is here to shout it from the top of the mountains because you could do that. That you're just asking for your partner to be a partner, to not be
Yeah.
another child that you're taking care of and managing.
Yeah. There are times my husband is like, okay. And I'm like, is there something else you'd like to say here? Like, so here's the thing, because I feel like, and I know you get this way too.
Mhm.
We know when somebody is upset at
Oh,
something.
gosh, yes.
And I have learned over time that just because they're upset does not mean they're upset at me, but it means that they're not in their usual mood. Something is upsetting them. And so when my husband gives me that remark, I just stand, I look at him, I'm like, hard day? And he's like, yeah, it was a really hard day. I'm just over like stimulated.
And that is a fair and logical,
Mhm.
like, that is a fair response.
Yeah.
What aren't fair responses, we are here to tell you, are the ones that are like, but you have all day.
Yeah. No, that's not a fair response.
But
That's
I'm
not.
so busy. But you're their mom. You should be the
Mhm.
one who does this. Or
We
even my favorite.
know.
Here's the better one. I don't know who their doctor is. I don't know where their dance studio is. I don't know when soccer practice is. Oh, step up then, mister. Step up.
That is a man acting like a man child in that regards, because I mean, if they don't know who
Learned
their kids go
helplessness, right?
to,
Or no,
yeah,
it's not learned helplessness. It's weaponized.
weaponized incompetence.
There we go. Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. So if you are a victim of weaponized incompetence, you might be, how those lawyer ones go, you might be entitled to compensation.
They should.
And that is what our episode is here to tell you about.
If
Your
only.
compensation.
So right after this, we're going to tell you what that resentment is really telling you and what you can do about it.
Breaking up is never easy, but saying goodbye to your old clunky work tools? Well, that's easy. Just repeat after me. It's not me, it's definitely you. You rigid, unfriendly software. It's time to freshen things up with Monday.com, the first work platform you'll love to use. With stunning dashboards, customizable templates, and built-in AI that actually works, switching to a new work platform has never felt this good. So move on to Monday.com.
Long gone are the days of waiting to be seen in a doctor's office only to have that awkward conversation with your healthcare provider. Wisp gives you access to sexual and reproductive healthcare from the comfort of your home. Get treatment for BV, yeast infections, UTIs, and much more delivered directly to your home or ready for pickup at your local pharmacy in less than 3 hours. The best part? Wisp is discreet, convenient, and you don't need medical insurance to receive care or prescription medication. Visit us today at hellowisp.com.
If you've ever looked at your kids' homework and thought, wait, when did math get so complicated? You're not alone.
Let's be real, not every kid fits into the one-size-fits-all classroom model. And that's where K-12 Powered Schools comes in.
K-12 offers tuition-free, online accredited public school for grades K through 12. Your kid learns at their pace, in their space, with teachers who are actually trained in online education.
And don't worry, this isn't homeschooling where you have to actually do all the teaching. K-12 provides certified teachers, an engaging curriculum, and even even social activities and in-person events to help keep kids connected.
Join the more than 3 million families who have been served by K-12 and empower your student to reach their full potential now. Visit k12.com/ngm to find a tuition-free K-12 powered school near you and enroll now. That's the letter K, the number 12.com/ngm. k12.com/ngm. So when you start feeling those little seeds of resentment, you start getting that anger come up inside you. I mean, I've had this from time to time where I've tried to squash that anger down. I've tried to have a glass of wine.
Right? Because wait, now do you do that because you tell yourself, like you hear that voice in your head who we lovingly and unlovingly refer to as Bob?
Mhm.
Is it because the voice in your head is like, it's not that big of a deal? He's
Yeah.
had a hard day. Be
Or
nice. Be the happy wife.
you're too much, Joanne. You're having too big of a reaction.
Oh
Like,
my God, I hate that when you're told that you're overreacting.
this isn't too big of a deal and you should just be agreeable. There's like so much I'm seeing lately about how women have taught to be agreeable to make sure they're safe and loved. That's what we've been taught our whole lives.
Yeah.
If we fight back, if we are feisty, we will be pushed out of the kingdom and not be allowed to have connection or safety or love. So we just kind of fawn to what everything happens around us. And that's when the resentment starts building. And that's when like you feel like you have no control over your life. And Bree, you and I are both of the age, we're of the ladies of a certain age where
I love that. We are.
ladies of a certain age where we are just entering our, you know what, I don't really care anymore. And it's an amazing era.
It is. It's an era of where we're just like, you know what? We have reached a point, you and I, in our lives where one, no cares are given anymore about how we are perceived.
Mhm. Yeah, like I'm like, if you don't like me, you're not meant to be my friend. So
Right? But I mean, like, especially in our household, especially in
Mhm.
our household, our spouses, they're with us for better or for worse, kind of at this point. I'm not saying that things can't change as a woman who got divorced in her very late 30s and was like, oh my God, I don't care anymore. I am who I am. You signed up for this whole show. This
Mhm.
is what you get. And our kids are old enough too that I'm like, oh man, that kind of sounds like a you problem.
Yeah. And it's a great attitude to have because you know enough now about the world, especially the work you and I do and the work we share with all of you here at No Guilt Mom, where you know what's important in raising kids. You know that independence is necessary. You know how to show you're caring without taking over, without totally micromanaging everything. So you have a confidence that comes with age, but you also have a, you know what? It's time for everyone to accept me and work around me. Not every woman gets there though. And that's okay if you're not there yet. We're going to get you there. So let's talk about what that resentment is truly trying to tell you.
Okay. All right. So, how about we start with that? What is the resentment trying to tell you?
I'm starting to tell you that like, anger is an emotion that works in your favor. It is a signal. It's saying like things are not
Yes.
right with me.
Yes. Okay. So, like, I love that. We have a whole episode with Tara Wages of Connection Codes. Link in the show notes if you want to listen to that episode. But she talks about the importance of that emotions wheel, right?
Mhm.
And touching in on those core, oh man, how many emotions was it? 7 or 9?
I
Something like
think it
that.
was 6.
6? Oh, geez. Well,
It was
I'm all off,
6.
but that was in the ballpark. We'll give me that.
Yeah.
And I remember her saying, like, how anger is a secondary emotion to something. And that
Mhm.
is what, if you don't leave with anything, we're not even to our actionable tips yet, but if you don't leave with anything, I want you to hear that. Your anger isn't just anger,
Mhm.
right? It's so useful for you because it can tell you that there's something else wrong. It's like that, it's like a flashing light that's like, "Brrrt, brrrt,
Yeah.
something's wrong."
You're not over emotional.
Yes.
And I mean, I think that was demonstrated so well by the leadership of the United States about how women are not too emotional. If you know what I'm talking about, it's
Yes,
been a
yes.
few weeks now since this episode has aired, but you're not too emotional when you're angry. That anger is a signal, and that anger is something to be listened to and just to ask questions of and being like, what right now is,
Yeah.
as my kids say, what PMO? Why am I PMO? What pisses me off?
Oh, PMO. I haven't heard that. I'm like,
PMO.
what does PMO mean?
Now you'll hear
Okay.
it all the time from your kids. Watch,
Yeah.
it'll pick it up. PMO, mom. Oh, PMO.
Yeah, you're assuming I have those guys. I just get, why are you being so pissy? All right.
No, they'll
I'm
talk about it.
hungry. Leave me
Yeah.
alone.
PMO. Just say PMO right in front of
Right.
them. They'll be like, what are you saying? What's coming
Probably.
out of your mouth?
My
Be a
kids
fun
don't like it
experiment.
when I try to do like the slang. They're like, what the heck?
Neither do mine. That's why I do it.
Ooh. Well, okay. So what we're saying, first of all, is that anger you feel during the summer, chances are decent that you also are feeling like things are unfair.
Mhm.
You're getting an unfair share of things. You're getting a lack of reciprocal support from the
Yeah.
kids, from your spouse, from whatever. A lot of times, though, we tend to focus a lot of it on our spouse, right?
Mhm.
Because I
they're
can't.
the other grown up.
Exactly. Because I can't expect my child who doesn't have a fully developed brain,
Mm-mm.
who doesn't have the emotional regulation of an adult, who doesn't have the executive functioning to be the other adult in this scenario. So this is
Yeah.
where you need your spouse to step up, but it's all about, big section of this is all about how you say it, how you approach it. Because if we
Yeah.
come
How
in
you approach
guns
it.
blazing, right?
Mhm.
We
Yeah.
come in like that, it's too much.
It's good to bring in this at a time. So I asked my friend Zach Watson who says he's a recovering man child. He coaches men and they talk about emotions and everything. Asked him, like, what is it that the men are saying about the women in relationships? And so here's some of the things he said. He said, she just nags me all the time. So it goes
True. I
to
can see
the
myself
saying
doing that. Yeah.
you know, do this. Why haven't you done that?
Guilty.
Doesn't touch me enough. Isn't affectionate enough. That sort of thing.
This morning, my husband was like, space, please. So I can't be guilty of that one.
Yeah. Doesn't compliment me enough
Guilty.
is one.
Yeah.
And then they feel powerless in decision making. So like the example he gives is in like parenting, for instance.
Mhm.
He would come in and have a, opinion about parenting, or a man would come in and have an opinion about parenting. And the
Mhm.
wife would be like, no, I've done all this research. I've read all these books. We're doing it this way. Like, screw you and your opinion. We're doing it this way.
Okay. I have to say, like, all right, because I was trying to go along with this, like, guilty. This last one I am guilty of, but not in that capacity. So
Yeah.
I have to share a story with everybody.
Okay.
So this happened just last week. My
Mhm.
husband and I were in the kitchen and he was cooking. Wait, it was my night to cook, but my husband and I were in the kitchen,
Mhm.
chopping and the prepping, and I do the actual cooking of it and stuff. So I was working on getting stuff together for the recipe. He's over there already chopping some stuff. And at one point he's like, okay, I'm done with this. And I look at it like I don't know. He chopped green onions. No, green peppers. I do remember this now. It was green peppers, Joanne. And he chopped them really big because he loves green peppers. Can't stand it.
Oh.
Straight up a red or orange pepper girl. So anyway.
You like the more expensive peppers, Brie.
I guess I do.
Not the 99-cent ones, but the $1.49.
He just likes the flavor of it, you know?
I know, it's fine.
So he chopped them and I went and I looked at them and I looked at the recipe and I looked back at him and the chopped green and I'm like, huh, interesting. That's diced? And he goes,
what a backhanded comment.
but you know me. I was so proud of myself for not telling my kids because I told you so yesterday. So anyway, I go, that's diced? And he looks at it and he goes, I guess not. And then so then he starts doing something else and I'm cooking something else. And then somehow we came together for another thing and he was chopping. And I went, you know that's also supposed to be diced. And he just like sighs, looks up and goes, I thought I was cooking. Do you want me to help you cook or not? And that was really like, I had no idea how irritating I was being because I was mad at him for not cutting the green peppers that I hate into tinier little palatable diced up pieces. And so because I was mad about the food, I took it out on him as if he was not able to make decisions on his own with a knife about what size food is. So my point is that it happens. I can totally see that. So am I guilty of it? Hells yeah.
That's like a cause for further investigation too that you've illustrated beautifully because you were mad, you were resentful. being able to stop and saying like, why am I mad? It's the green peppers. It's not my husband. I
Right,
hate
right.
green peppers.
It wasn't
Yeah.
till he expressed that he was upset that I was able to stop and go, wait a minute, what am I doing here? And sometimes that is what's kind of needed.
Yeah.
I feel like that is a big factor, that resentment wasn't me being a completely broken, crappy wife.
Yeah.
It was a note that there's something wrong here and I need to address it.
Oh, I have that too, where I told my husband when he was coming home late and late and late and late, I would say like, I'm worried about you. I'm worried that you're gonna come. Where are you? I worry that you've been in a car crash. When really like that
Oh,
was just
gosh.
how I was taught to express that feeling I had inside me. But through constantly doing that, constantly seeing him pissed off, the work we do here, that I'm confronted with these issues every single day and have to think through what's really going on here. I realized I was pissed off at him for not paying attention to the time. And then when I tried to call when I'm overloaded here at home, he wouldn't pick up because he was in a meeting with someone else at 7:30 p.m. at night. And I was freaking mad. And when I
Yeah.
finally told him I was mad, he's like, well, I don't want you mad at me. I thought you were just worried and I can't do anything about worried, but I'll change this if you're mad. Like,
Right? And
mhm.
so like sometimes the resentment and facing it and addressing it will actually make things better. And that is where we have our 3 tips for you on what to do instead of stewing in this anger
Yep.
for the rest of the summer.
And that's coming up next. So, Brie, remember when we first started using Lumen and we were like, wait, what? My breath can tell me what fuel my body is burning?
I know. And now it's just like a regular part of my routine. Like in the morning, it's coffee, Lumen breath check, and boom, I know if I'm burning carbs or fat that day.
What I love is that Lumen doesn't just give you random data, it actually guides you, like whether it's what to eat, how to work out, or even how to manage your stress.
Lumen even adjusts to your cycle or, in like my case, perimenopause. So your recommendations stay personalized even if your body changes.
It has helped me understand my body on a whole new level and know it's not a quick fix. It's actually real insight that helps you make better choices over time. Like for me, ice cream at 9 p.m. will not help me wake up and fat burn, Brie. The warmer months are here. If you're ready to feel more energized, more in control, and more confident in your health, head to lumen.me/guilt for 10% off. That's lumen.me/guilt for 10% off.
Thank you, Lumen, for sponsoring this episode.
When you hear Lululemon, you probably think of Align yoga pants, weightlessly soft, like you're wearing next to nothing. That's why you see them in class, at the grocery store, and in the park. But did you know about skirts with built-in liner shorts so you can still jump for the Frisbee? And tanks and bodysuits? With Align's iconic stretch, you won't want to take it off. And with endless style options, you don't have to. Shop in-store or online at lululemon.com.
On WhatsApp, no one can see or hear your personal messages. Whether it's a voice call, message, or sending a password. To WhatsApp, it's all just this. So whether you're sharing the streaming password in the family chat or trading those late-night voice messages that could basically become a podcast, your personal messages stay between you, your friends, and your family. No one else. Not even us. WhatsApp. Message privately with everyone.
Okay, let's get practical here. Let's get doable. Here is what you can do when you start knowing that resentment is creeping up on you. The first one is to have a little reset conversation. Not in the middle of your anger. Don't do that.
Right? Because then you'll end up doing, is that what diced looks like to you? And I can tell you that conversation doesn't go well.
Yeah.
From personal experience. Just saying.
Or my thing where I'm like, sometimes I just want to take all the tracking off my car and drive down to Tucson. You won't know where the hell I am.
Well, don't tell them where you're going. That's the better part.
I know.
Just want to turn off all my tracking and get in my car and go, who knows where.
See, I can't even be angry, right? It's not.
We have all had that fantasy. Trust me.
Yeah.
At some point of like, I'm just going to get in the car and I'm just going to drive. And who knows where I end up.
But to have that reset conversation, pick a time other than, the instant you're in. If it's maybe the next day, or maybe you decide to do a weekly date with your partner. I have a weekly date with my husband where sometimes I bring things up. And the best way I've known to approach a situation is you're just like, hey, I am feeling this way and I need more of this. And then say what you need. But then follow it up with a question, what do you need more of? Because
Yes.
men have not been encouraged to share their emotions or their needs ever. Ever. You have to like pull it out of them. So like this is something like I'm working with my son on. I think we can really affect the next generation by how we raise our kids.
Mhm.
Because if we teach our kids to say how they're feeling and what they need, oh my gosh, think of how better of a world it would be
Oh my gosh, yes.
versus just bombing places. But I digress.
But
No.
But just knowing that any conversation, and if you've listened to the No Guilt Mom podcast for a while, you know that we've said this. Trying to have a conversation while you or your partner are activated or
Mhm.
actively upset, it is not a productive conversation. And
Mhm.
I can guarantee you that odds are very good that whatever you got going on in your family is not like a level 4 DEF CON. Everything needs to be addressed right now, or else
Mhm.
we're going to hell in a handbasket. That's not normally the scenarios that we face. So if you're feeling pissed off and resentful,
Yeah.
take a moment, sit with that emotion for a minute. Ask yourself, is it because I don't want green peppers? Is that what it is?
Or like some other things. Conversations I've had with my husband is
Mhm.
like, hey, I need you to be home earlier because, and I always put it in a positive frame of reference. I need you to be home earlier because I want to see more of you. I don't get to see much of you at night because you come home at 7 and then you have to jump on another call at 9. And
Yeah.
so I just feel lonely and disconnected from you. And when I put it like that versus being like, why aren't you home on time?
You don't
It's
even
better
care.
received.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you don't
you don't
even
even
care
care.
about
You
spending
don't.
time with me or the kids.
Mhm. Yeah.
Right?
It's more of a, "Hey, I miss you. I want you," versus a, "You're a horrible person." Shame, shame,
Right.
shame.
And I want you guys to know, like, I know I just had like a bit of a mocking tone, but I'm saying that from like my own perspective. Like, I know I have said many times before, like, you more so to my ex than my current husband, of like, you don't care about us. You don't want to spend time with us. And like, no wonder that person came back at a very prickly, angry perspective because I am putting it all on them. I have no responsibilities in this. And I'm also basically villainizing them. So
Mhm.
all that we're saying is just have the reset combo where your goal is to reset your connection or reset your relationship with your spouse so that you're not continuing in this, he sucks, he doesn't care, he doesn't try.
You might also find out some things about yourself that you can change. I know my husband brought up to me that for a while there, he was coming home and I was in such a state of chaos that he didn't want to come home.
I know that
'Cause
feeling.
yeah,
Been there.
because I was like, so they're fighting with each other and like they're yelling at each other and they're in their room in tears and here I am and the dog just spilled all this over the thing and I would just unload on him the minute he walked through that door. I personally just needed the unload, but it also like when he told me that, I'm like, oh crap. Yeah, I could see how that would be incredibly stressful coming into that situation. And it wasn't on me to be like, oh, I just shouldn't unload.
Yeah.
It was on me to be like, what is getting me in that state? What can I do to like
Right.
prevent that state within myself and give myself a little more leeway and time and reduce my expectations of myself?
And maybe even also, what is it going to take for me to be able to share the important pieces with you, with my
Yeah.
spouse, without making it sound like I think everything is your fault?
Yeah.
Or not even your fault. And the scenario you were saying, I think it was more like there's all these problems. You need to fix them right now.
Well, it was more that like I didn't even expect him to fix him. It was just the emotional overwhelm of the
Oh,
entire
okay.
situation. I know you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Being the downer in the situation,
Hmm.
being all about the complaints, and it just takes everyone's mood from smile to down here. Now there's a
Right.
place and time, but when it's like that every single day, I could see how that could get to someone.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Mhm.
take time, have the reset convo when neither you nor your partner are in an elevated, activated mood. Tip
Mhm.
number 2, and this is my favorite one, create a vacation or summer responsibility split. This is going to require you to actually sit down with your partner and come up with a plan. I would probably say not the kids there. Your goal in this meeting is just a brain dump because there's and the invisible tasks are the ones that really get you in the summer. We were talking about making doctor's appointments. So juggling, in my case, I'm constantly trying to find food that is somewhat healthy for my kids, but they can also easily take care of themselves in a quick setup because like my daughter, she has 2 jobs this summer. Sometimes she gets off one at 2 p.m. and then goes into the other job at 3. So she only has like half an hour at home to heat something up, eat it real fast, and then go to her second job. So I've got all these invisible tasks that I'm the only one juggling because I haven't told anybody else about them. And they're all on me because I'm the only one. I could guarantee you my daughter doesn't even think about it, nor does my son. I am the only one maintaining all this. And
I was
that's
like,
hard.
Time for your daughter and son to take control of those
I
ones.
know,
Yeah.
right?
They're old enough.
Yeah.
They got this.
We can attest. We both have sat down and done this before with our spouses.
Yes. Yeah. And sometimes like I have found that he was doing a lot more than I thought he was.
Yeah.
Because he told me everything he was doing. And I almost wanted to like lay down and cry because I'm like, damn it, we're both doing so much and there's no end. And then it was an issue of like, what really needs to be done and what could be let go of. And letting go of that perfection, that everything has to be perfect all the time. Because I could tell you right now, upstairs, those kitchen counters, there's food on them right now. And my son has not put away the dishes, and I'm not getting on him until it's possible because I'm like, it's the perfection trap you get in that your house has to be completely clean all the time, else you are failing as a mother. And I'm like, screw that. Life is way too short to be worried about that.
You have to share with the listeners. What is a spot where your son is going to have to get dishes from? That's an unusual spot.
Oh, the middle of my living room floor.
And why?
The dog she's so naughty. And I look over there, she's on the couch sleeping. She looks so angelic, but she's not. She's naughty. There's a dish in the living room floor and it's like a porcelain dish. And I'm like, how did she get that there? She must have like grabbed it from the counter with her teeth and brought it into the living room to start licking it clean. So yeah, he's going to have to pick up that as well.
Yeah. All because the dishes were left on the counter. But, you know, like you said, that's real life. It's real life.
It's real life. And I don't push it. And I don't take any pride in having a clean home because I'm like, what is the use? That home is just going to get messy in like 20 minutes later because there's people who live here. I'm not playing that game. No.
No. So what we're telling you is sit down with your partner. Go over, brain dump all the crap that has to happen to make that family function during the summer break period. And come up with a plan together. Split it. Yes, chances are decent your spouse is going to have to pick up stuff that they don't normally do. That's okay.
Or you're going to find out they're doing a lot more than you think they are. And then the resentment goes away as well. Because you're like, oh, education. The more you know, rainbow.
But the other thing too is that nobody knows what's in your head until you take it out. So, I mean, the best example I could think of where I did that, my wedding, my first wedding, I decided I wanted to do a lot of it as, do it yourself. And one of which was I just got the flowers from a local flower vendor and was just tying them onto the corner of the chairs because I had a very light, elegant look I was going for. And I was so upset because here I am like 30 minutes before guests are going to start arriving. I'm not in my wedding dress or anything. I'm still tying flowers to stuff. I'm pissed off and snapping at my family, my mom and my sisters that are trying to help me. And why? Because they couldn't help me because it was all in my freaking head. And they would constantly be like, yo, can we help you with anything? I'm like, it would just take me longer to explain it to you.
Yeah.
And I'm here to tell you guys that I basically ruined that day for myself because of that. I mean, there are other issues, but
there are other issues.
That's for another podcast episode.
That's for another podcast.
But I did make it a pretty crappy day because I had all this stuff in my head and nobody knew what was going on there. And I wasn't willing to stop, take the time to share what was in my head to get the help that I needed. So, all right. Tip number 3. What's the third thing?
Ask for that time off on purpose. You do not have to be there for all family together time. I love this tip because I do it a lot where I'm like, hey, I've been with the kids all day. You guys just want to go grocery shopping without me? Be great. Be home in my house alone put on some Righteous Gemstones. Have you watched the show?
Oh, yes. I love that show. I've already finished. I'm already finished.
Season 2, and they crack me up so much. I love them so much. It's hilarious. But
it definitely was one of my guilty pleasures that I just got to watch by myself. I didn't have to wait for anybody to watch it with me, and I liked that.
yeah, it was hilarious. But like, you do not have to be there for together time. I mean, I just taught a class this morning where a lot of the comments were like, yes, but if I leave my kids alone, if I don't check in on them constantly, won't they think I don't love them? And I want to tell you, no, everybody deserves their space, and constant togetherness does not equate love. That's codependency.
I was going to just say that, like, as someone who it kind of feels like unless I'm being told that I'm loved and I'm important and I'm special and I'm good, I don't feel it all the time. Yeah, no, your kids don't want to grow up with that kind of pressure all the time. They don't.
No,
it's not a good place to be. It's
not a good place. Yeah. So like, even like, you are creating this secure environment that says like, hey, everyone is entitled to do their own things. Still means we love each other, but when we do things separately, it's okay, and we can still be connected.
Yeah.
Taking that time for yourself. Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing.
You want a day to go sit by the pool and read your new book? Go do it.
Yeah.
Don't take the kids with you. Because first of all, chances are good you're supposed to watch the kids anyways while they're in the water. So no.
There's also this underlying anxiety that exists in many moms where they feel like if they take time away from their kids, something is going to happen and they're not going to be around to help their kids. And then they're going to feel really, really horrible that they took the time away. So even when they take the time away, they're not enjoying any of it because they're constantly thinking, oh my gosh, what if something happens? What if something happens? What if something, let me check Life 360 again, make sure everyone's alive. Okay. What if, like, you know it.
That's where, like, I feel like there definitely needs to be a conversation with your partner that, yeah, I feel stressed when I leave, right? Because there's sometimes where your partners can do stuff that just make you question their ability to function in life without you.
But I would argue that it's also a personal thing that may be an indication that some therapy would be helpful.
For anxiety, yes.
For anxiety, because it is definitely a thought process going on there that is not based in reality, that is just thinking about the what ifs.
That's the excessive thinking. Yes.
Yeah. The intrusive thoughts.
So definitely, like, you deserve and you do need time off that is just for you, that you are not worried about the family.
Yeah.
So schedule that girls' night. Schedule the trip to the spa. Go to the pool. Get in your car. Listen to the music you want to listen to. No more Wheels on the Bus. No more Suicide Boys or whatever it is that your kids are listening to that make you go, what the hell is this? Get in the car and just take a ride for yourself. Just enjoy. Find something you used to love to do and just go and do it. Now, my favorite thing that I used to do was to go to the movies by myself because then I could eat a whole popcorn by myself and nobody tried to eat it.
Well, yes, indeed. Indeed. So those are our actionable tips for you to involve some summer resentment that will not involve some summer resentment.
Resolve.
I said that right. Resolve.
Yes.
I say all the rhyming words. By the way, heads up, podcast listeners, if I ever say something's happened in 2000 and I'm not referring to myself at 19 years old, I mean 2020. So just, that's how to speak, Joanne. Just know that. I do that all the time. I did that in class this morning. I just have to add that in there. But we know with all this resentment that sometimes you feel also like a cruise director for your children during the summer. We want to let you know we have help for you on that. We have your back. Our course, Not So Bummer Summer, it is just for kids ages 9 to 14. They watch it. I teach them how to do their own summer project, how to plan for it, how to make it happen, how to put it under their control. And you could go grab Not So Bummer Summer for 50% off because you're listening to the podcast right now. Go to noguiltmom.com/summer and enter the promo code podcast50. That's podcast50 to get 50% off. So go take that off your plate and go get Not So Bummer Summer.
And share this episode with another mom friend that you know is about ready to kill her spouse. I mean, I'm just saying.
Yep, exactly.
Share.
Exactly.
They need to know they're not alone.
Remember, the best mom's a happy mom. Take care of you. We'll talk to you later.
Thanks for stopping by.
If you'd like to support the show further, you can share episodes with your loved ones, leave a positive review, or follow us on social media at No Guilt Mom. You could also show your love by visiting our amazing podcast sponsors. We have a link in the show notes.